Hello, I'm Jeannie Schmidt. I have a question for you. Do you have a GPS? Have you ever used one? Turn right here, recalculating. Ha! Well, today I'm here to talk about the best way to navigate your way through the rough seas of life, and that involves a GPS, but not quite the one you might be familiar with. I'm a Christian coach and author who relies on my GPS daily. I've weathered rough seas from the corporate corner office to cancer treatments, and now I'm helping women line up their life with God's plans. The rough seas of life can be hard to navigate, especially right now. So I want to share a few thoughts with you about how a GPS can help you set course for your best life. When I think about GPS, I'm actually reminded of road trips with my mom and my dad and my brother long ago, way before there was GPS devices. The way that we would do it is we would just get out on the road in the backcountry of California, and when we came to an intersection or a crossroads, my mom would pull out a coin. She'd flip a coin. If it was a heads, then we would turn left, and if it was tails, then we would turn right. And you know what? It was great fun, but you never knew really where you were going to be going or where you would end up. But now when I say GPS, I think of it as the tools that we all know and probably love that help us arrive at our destination safely and efficiently so that we can get help and get to where we need to go. Maybe it's going to direct you to the nearest McDonald's or to the nearest gas station. And if there are roadblocks, one of the things I love is that it'll alert you so that you can go around those roadblocks and have alternate routes. It's your own personal system to ensure that you're making the best choices. So it's like your own personal GPS. I like to refer to it as God's positioning system. So let's talk about a time when a GPS is super handy, and that's when you're off course. You need God's positioning system when you're off course. Are you off course? Ask yourself where you're putting your trust. That'll let you know whether or not you are on or off course with God. Is it your circumstances or yourself, someone, or something else? Or is it God that you're putting your trust in? That's an important question to ask. I know for myself, for many years, when I was swamped by the rough seas of life, I did everything in my power to be in control. From the time I was divorced and then the challenges of working in a corporate office and then having cancer, I used my GPS instead of God's, and that's not good. Somehow, for some reason, it felt safer. I was sure I could manage those storms of life on my own, but in reality, it didn't work. It gave me a false sense of peace, and it didn't work out. And I thought I was in control, but you know what? I wasn't. And that only made things worse because the storms of life kept getting bigger and bigger, and I was sinking under the weight of it all. It was not a good situation. Maybe you can relate. Are you trying to navigate storms of life on your own without a GPS? The time's going to come when you're going to have to choose to sink or swim under the weight of it all. Are you going to choose your own GPS? Or are you going to choose a false sense of security or the promise of God's positioning system? What's it going to take for you to turn the tide? I want you to take a second and just ask yourself whether you're ready to turn the tide and live life the way God meant for you and designed for you. It could be hard at first. Honestly, it can be hard at first when we turn things over and we release them instead of being in control. But He's got the kind of life designed for you that surpasses everything. So do you really want to stay where you are and have control? Or do you want to live the life that God has designed for you? It can be hard, but you just need to get used to it. And after years of using your own GPS, when you ignored your prayer time, that didn't listen to God's care and guidance, that you were attempting to control the rough seas of life, you need to realize that it's time to let go of the storms of life one at a time. Prayerfully consider which storm you're going to turn over to God's positioning system. You have to learn to listen and listen to each turn, just like on the GPS device does, and not get ahead of it, because when you get ahead of it, it's not going to work that well. Your GPS in your car or the one on your phone gives you step-by-step guidance. It doesn't jump ahead, and it doesn't give the reason why. You just need to turn right when it tells you to turn right. God doesn't need to explain either. And you know what? He might not. I believe, though, that He is going to shine a light that's like the light of a lighthouse to let you know where to begin. And once you know what you're supposed to release, do it. And do it now, before you miss the next exit ramp, before you miss the best part of the trip. I encourage you to allow God to step in and navigate the rough seas of life. When you do this storm by storm, you'll soon discover peace and control. Not peace and control, peace and rest, even in the midst of the wind and waves of life. Which leads you to know that God's positioning system never fails. As you continue to follow God's positioning system, you're going to find it easier to trust God, and your faith is going to grow. And your faith is going to grow. Here are a few tips to keep your signal going strong. The first one is to stay connected with God. Get in His Word. That's the best thing you can do. Being close to Him in His Word and knowing His Word and being able to just draw up alongside of Him in connection is super important. The next thing is to pray on a regular basis. Give Him your cares, and He's going to see you through. And then the next thing is to be obedient. God honors obedience, and He rewards it. And that is one of the things that brings Him glory. In the meantime, don't worry if there are some steps backwards. That's going to happen sometimes. He'll help you recalculate. You know what? We've all heard that one. Recalculating, recalculating. God is a gracious God, and His love is absolutely unconditional. You can know that He's on your side, and that He is a gracious God, and that He loves you, and He only wants the best for you. I want to share with you Isaiah 30:21 from the Passion Translation. When you turn to the right or to the left, you will hear His voice behind you to guide you, saying, "This is the right path. Follow it." If you're ready to go to the next level with God, I encourage you to take a couple of minutes and head over to my website, jeannieschmidt.com, to download a free copy of my ebook, Exploring Divine Drift. That's Jeannie with two N's and an IE, and Schmidt is spelled SCHMIDT. In the 22-page free ebook, you're going to discover a new way to stay connected to God. And if you need any help with it or have questions, just reach out to me on my contact page on my website. Thank you for watching. Keep your GPS plugged in and ready to go. I look forward to seeing you next time.